I think there's a lot of different things you can gauge it off of, but definitely I think the results are what matters most at the end of the day on Sunday. But for us, we've been able to measure a lot of different things. I feel like that's been improved. Even if you look at qualifying, we've just qualified inside the top 10 a lot and things like that we never really did last year. So I feel like it's been a huge improvement from what we had last year, but there's still definitely a long way to go. But definitely making gains on it for sure.
Briscoe has two teammates this year, with Noah Graxon and Josh Berry joining second-year driver Ryan Preece, and their working relationship has improved the team's communication and competitiveness.
As a whole company, we've been more competitive this year than we were last year as a whole, as far as the collective group of four of us. And yeah, as far as working with them guys, it's been awesome. It's honestly probably been the most the four drivers have ever talked amongst each other at Stewart-Haas. We're around each other a lot and just have a good chemistry. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun from that side. I feel like that, that's definitely some of the reason why you see is all running a little bit better is just the drivers have worked together more. And then also the teams have worked together more just because I think they see the drivers working together more, which is something that we've never really had at Stewart-Haas. Yeah, I wouldn't say it feels like a startup team. It feels like I just moved in another established team. Like, it just feels different. Like, even when you go to the shop, just the vibe in the building is different, I would say. And some of that's kind of not been the same as it was 6 weeks ago, but it's still, definitely different than what we had last year. So, yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic. Just even the team meetings, things like that, everything that I've been so used to the last 3 years have been totally different this year, just with how it's structured and how, honestly, even the personalities are different, just with the guys that we have as teammates now versus what I've had in the past. So it's like going to a different team for sure. It's still a lot of the same familiar faces, but just the attitudes and just just the processes of how we do things, even just at the shop, the structure of kind of who's in charge has been kind of different. Like, everybody has different bosses now at the shop just because it's all ran totally different in our processes. So it's been a lot to get used to, but I feel like everything that we've changed has been an improvement and been a positive for sure.
In the preseason, team owner Tony Stewart laid down the law for his group after 2 disappointing years and said changes would be coming if the results didn't improve. Briscoe says the message was received by Stewart-Haas Racing, even if the progress remains ongoing.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that we're not near where we want to be still, and Tony wants us to win races and be battling for championships, and truthfully right now we're still not good enough to win races. I feel like when we do everything perfect, we're kind of a 7th, 8th place car, so we still have a lot that we need to do to get better. But honestly, last year if we would have ran 15th, that was a great day. So for us right now to be running 10th to 13th kind of every week is encouraging, but there is still, I would say, some frustration just knowing that we still kind of have a lot more to find. But we just got to try to stay positive and realize that those top 10s are going to turn to top 5s, and eventually those top 5s will turn into wins. So yeah, we just got to get a little bit closer. I would say that's the biggest thing. Is right now we're 85% where we need to be, but last year we were probably not even 60% where we needed to be. So we've seen the improvement. I can't speak for Tony, but I feel like he's seen the improvement as well. But there's still, like I said, just a long way to go.
Even while racing full-time in the NHRA, Stewart has been checking in this year.
Yeah, I heard from him a couple weeks ago. I want to say it was the Phoenix week. We had just a really solid week, and even the Atlanta race when we were up front a lot, he had texted after and just said, hey, man, like, that was a really solid weekend from start to finish. The last couple weeks, I haven't really heard from him, but he's been so busy doing the drag racing stuff. They're kind of in their kickstart of their season. So, if we have a good weekend, he definitely reaches out, lets us know that we're doing a good job. And then if we have a super bad weekend, he'll obviously let us know too. So, last week I felt like as a company, it's kind of a letdown. And, in our competition meeting, it was definitely addressed that, hey, we got to be a lot better than that.
Sometimes that vocal leader now needs to be Briscoe. He has been thrust into the role of SHR's longest tenured driver with the exits of Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola. And the role comes at a critical juncture for Briscoe, who confirmed he is in a contract year.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been totally different from that aspect. Just not having Kevin and Eric, they were always going to be above me no matter what I did, just from an experience standpoint. And now being the longest tenured guy there, I still don't feel like that just automatically makes you the leader. But, the reason that Kevin Harvick steered the ship of Stewart-Haas Racing was because he ran the best week in and week out. So for me, that's kind of been my biggest focus, is just be the best running car every week and try to outperform the other guys. And obviously, if I can't win, I want to see them win. But I need to be the best running car every week I can. And so far, we've been able to do that. And I feel like whenever you do those things and do it consistently, then you just naturally kind of become the leader. And I think just from the start of the season, I've been trying to be the leader off the track, as far as just how to be a good teammate, how to race each other on the racetrack. Those are all things that you, just being the longest tenured guy, you need to do that, because those new guys coming in, they don't know how we do it here, and they don't know what the processes are. So I've been trying to be really disciplined about making sure I do the right thing, showing them guys how we're supposed to race each other, because truthfully at Stewart-Haas, it's something that we were terrible at my entire career there until this year. We just would race each other harder than probably everybody else on the racetrack. So yeah, I feel like all those things have been good, and I've been trying to be more of a leader. And I definitely feel like I have more of a voice than I've ever had. So definitely feel like it's kind of all coming together. I do think you try to think about the long term, and just knowing that, at least for me, I feel like this is a huge year for where my career is going to go. If I struggle this year, I could honestly, I feel like, fizzle out of the Cup Series or even NASCAR in general. And if I go and run good and show my worth, then this is one of those years where I feel like always in the Cup Series, guys, when they're in their third, fourth year in the series, that's where they really kind of determine what crossroad they're at. And I'm at that point where I'm not a rookie anymore. I'm not inexperienced. I need to go out there and show that I can run good on a weekend basis. So yeah, it's a option year for them. So it's up to them if they want to keep me or not. So I mean, that definitely adds to it too. You have to go and show your worth week in and week out. But yeah, I mean, I've been super happy with being here. Obviously, I've been a Ford driver at Stewart-Haas for nearly 5 years now, so it's kind of been like home to me. But yeah, I definitely have to go show my worth, I feel like, and go prove to them that I'm worth having in the car, because there's a lot of great race car drivers out there. So that's definitely, I feel like a lot of it too is just that long term, trying to show that I want to be here, and show that I'm capable of being here too.
With his future in mind, Briscoe also says he's looking at his past and bringing a new, more assertive attitude on track for the 2024 season.
Yeah, I would say the aggression just comes from last year. I was, truthfully not in great cars. It was no secret that our stuff kind of struggled, and I probably didn't race as hard as I should have been, and just knowing that, a lot of those days I wasn't going to be in the mix. So, when I was in the mix, I was trying to take full advantage of it and extremely aggressive. And this year I would say I've been more aggressive than ever. Just, if you look at the Cup Series, I feel like the guys that are successful and win all the time are the most aggressive drivers on the racetrack. And, there are some exceptions. I don't feel like Denny is necessarily super aggressive on the racetrack, but you look at, Ross Chastain or Joey Logano or guys like that, they're extremely aggressive, whether they're racing for the win or they're racing for 15th. And that's kind of the mentality I've kind of came with this year is, I got to be 100% every single lap, and I feel like that's where a lot of that comes from.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.